And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Randi Light. And Randi, I love you to bits because we are friends, colleagues. We banter about, we get each other going and all hyped up, and you sage me a lot when when I need to be saged. And it's just wonderful to have you on here. So, Randi, you are the timeline queen, okay? So tell us more. Tell people what it is, because they will be confused sometimes about what it actually is.
Well, I'm a hypnotist and I'm a peak performance coach, and I'm also a hypnosis instructor, as it says. I utilize coaching, hypnosis, and NLP, right? Neuro linguistic programming, because that's such a great marriage when you combine all of those to get for change and get incredible and rapid results. Also, one of the 4 sessions of the Essential 4, which is my book and my success system that I teach my students to actually utilize and go out into the world, so you can offer this 4-session client-centered package for your clients that gets features a 90% success rate. So one of the 4 sessions of the Essential 4, and it's called the Essential 4 because if your client's only going to commit to doing 4 sessions, what can you do in those 4 sessions that would be the most transformational, the most healing, the most change? And that's why timeline therapy is one of them. And timeline therapy is an NLP technique. Mm-hmm. But after 19 years of utilizing this and helping people, I've made it, I've added a few extra things that make it easier for the clients, as well as help people get more present, because that is so much of what people want these days. So timeline therapy has two major components. And one is figuring out how everybody subconsciously maps and codes time memories, which we all do. But when we bring it to conscious awareness, then we can understand, because some people's past is like in front of their face, or sometimes when I help them figure out how they map their past, it goes through, or it's inside a body part that they have issues with, like people who have migraines. A lot of their memories are here, or shoulder pain, like their time can go through their body. It's fascinating. And when you rearrange it, people feel lighter. They become more present, relaxed, pains get better. So figuring out how people map and code time memories, their past, their present, and their future, is one major component of timeline. And then seeing if there's a more resourceful or useful way for them to map and code time, because there is no wrong or right way. And that's a really important concept. There is no wrong or right way of doing it, but there are some ways that are more resourceful or useful. And we figure that out. We talk to your wise subconscious mind or your higher self, whatever your belief systems are. And then also sometimes, even when we rearrange it and it's more resourceful, people have memories that are not in their past, like traumatic or perceived traumatic, or ones that they ruminate over a lot, and it's not in their timeline. And you want to, this gives you the opportunity to move them into their timeline and actually then drop it out and replace it with a resourceful memory or resourceful image that looks like the other ones. So those are 2 great game changers. People feel so much lighter, more present. The other component is that I like to frame it of taking people to get to the root cause of a dominant limiting belief, but not just getting to the root cause of that, but actually making it so that it resolves it, right? There's no, they're no longer, like, it upgrades it updates their timeline, and all the memories connected to that get reevaluated. When you get to the root cause and you change it and change the beliefs to the truth, this whole quantum healing can take place in your timeline, right? Because you have a new way of doing it, a new way of thinking about it. That's basically the essence of timeline therapy.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, because actually it is so powerful. And what I and always love is the client-centered bit. They can't do it right. they can't do it wrong. It's whatever it is for them. And this is because that is a limiting belief that so many of our clients come with anyway, because they dare not come in case they do it wrong. And as soon as we say to somebody, it's okay, it's whatever it is for you, and give them permission to do them, it's like, oh, that's like one great big boulder dropped off there and then. And it's just brilliant. So if you can, any people who are watching this, if you can work with somebody who works client-centered, then work with them, because you can't get it right and you can't get it wrong. And it's so important, isn't it?
Yes, I totally agree. And I always like to say very few people escaped childhood with the belief that they're good enough. And that shows up even when they're trying to figure out how they map and code time. Even though I tell them there's no wrong or right way, some ways are more resourceful or useful, they start analyze, why do I have it this way? Wow. And they start getting in their head. You and I are on the same page a lot about a lot of things in the hypnosis world. And one of the other things I want to mention about timeline is it's a form of regression, right? Getting to the root cause, but it's a separate regression. So you can look at it as an observer, which makes it a little bit easier for you to understand, take positive learnings, and let go of limiting beliefs.
Yeah. And I tell you, I thought about you so much the other day. So I had a client come in, I was doing the bunny talk process with him. Man in his late 40s, and he hadn't been able to actually write down what I'd asked him to do, which was like a visual timeline, if you like, age, significant emotional event, and how much that was still affecting him. And a lot of people can't do that, and they find it difficult, and especially if they have the thing called ADHD. So he came into my office, and we dissociated him out of the body. We'd drawn around his body, and then he just took the pen, and I just left it with him. He goes, "Well, where do I start?" And I just said, "You can't do this right. You can't do it wrong. You just do where you feel stuff." And then for him, because again, you can't do it right and you can't do it wrong, he then just went all over his body, but wrote down literally a timeline. And he went off, and we were pulling the sheet up and pulling the sheet up, and it was like he carried on and carried on. 50 minutes he went into the zone, and he said, "Is this okay?" And I said, "It's absolutely fine." And he just carried on because he did him. Yes. And it was absolutely fantastic. And he went, "Wow, I have never been able to get all of that out before." And it was like we had reams and reams of paper. In fact, I just said we've just kept his roll for him. And that's just
great that you gave him that opportunity, to do that. Not everybody would be able to do that, depending on how you schedule and stuff like that. That's fascinating, and I love it. And what I've also noticed about timeline therapy is it really can help ADD and ADHD, because many of them, when they map, there's a disorganization to time, right? So time is a big aspect to ADD and ADHD people, right? Where they focus their time and things like that. So when you do timeline with them and rearrange it so it's more organized, it makes it a lot easier for them to get focused on other things, that they know they need to get focused on, right? But they have a hard time with it.
And they can't. So when he was focused, it was like I just let him be focused. And I was thinking about you. I was sat there just, letting him do his thing and holding space for him. And it was, I just kept thinking, Randi would love this.
Well, and you and I are passionate about our work because it gets amazing results, right? Like an instant, right? When you take people through these things and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh my God, I feel so much lighter. Wow, yeah, that I feel different." Like, there's a peace. And that's just the immediate, what I also love is tools and techniques that actually immediately demonstrate the change for the client. And that is,
Yeah. Have you got one? Have you got one to share with us?
I do. I have a couple of them. But yes, I know you love that. And I did the palm press that everybody loves because it's such a fast, simple, powerful change technique. And it begins the process of helping you understand your client. But it can help anyone. You press on two spots on the left hand. It's the head and heart line that you're going to be pressing. But why you would do it, give me 1 second. So why you would do the palm press, let's say there was something in your past that upset you. You didn't like how you handled it, or, you just keep ruminating about it, right? Or you have a fear or a phobia of something, whether it's talking to someone or flying, it doesn't matter. This can reduce the emotional charge. But it can also reduce the emotional charge of the future. So meaning anxiety, right? If you know you're going to present at a conference, which you and I spend a lot of time presenting at conferences and training, if there's like a fear around that, then you can also use the palm press, a fear, phobia, worry, anxiety for the future that hasn't happened yet. So basically, you're just going to press on two spots on your left hand. And my hand is a little tricky to show, but here's what I'm going to do with you, because I have a simian palm. Not everybody has, but most people are like Claudia, where there's two lines, and one's the heart and one's the headline. Basically, what I'd like you to do is take a pen, because it's the easiest way, and go in between your pinky and your ring finger, right at the center of the V. And you're going to go all the way down till you get to the first long horizontal line. Yours would be moved over a little because you're going in between these two, like straight down. Okay. So, and that is your heart line in between the pinky and the ring, and then put a little dot or an X there. Yeah, better. And then you're going to go to the next horizontal line. It's not quite horizontal, but that's as best as I can explain, because everybody's hand is different. You're going to go in between your forefinger and your middle finger to that V, and go past that first long horizontal-ish line to the second one, and put a dot there. Perfect. Right. So those two spots, you're actually going to press on those two spots until I tell you otherwise. But before you do that, here's what we want to do. So now you know where to press, but you want to calibrate with people. So think about something you want, something you want to neutralize in the past or future, right? And when you have that, then think about it. And on a scale of 0 through 10, 10 being a strong negative emotion and 0 not at all, like, what number would you give it?
6.
A 6, just from thinking about it, right? So you ask them that, then go ahead and press on those two spots, and you're going to keep pressing on them. So your hand knows they're there. You don't have to be pressing really hard, but your hand needs to know that they're there. So gently pressing, like an acupressure point. And actually, you can close your eyes and think of something you like to do for fun. And it could be dancing, right? It could be teaching. It could be walking the beach or petting an animal. But when you think of that, something that you like to do for fun, like, completely immerse yourself in it and go do that fun thing and see how good it feels. Hear any sounds, like, be in your body in that moment, reliving that a few times. And when you've got that really good feeling, open your eyes. And then when you think of that event or what number would you give it now?
I think it's there.
It's 0.
Yeah, it's not there.
Wonderful. Lock that in, and you can relax your hands. Yeah. A lot of people will say that. Well, but I turn that into an anchor as well, for sure.
Nice.
Right.
Okay.
Right. That, because it's something they like to do for fun. And so you just like, that's your anchor.
Yeah.
right? And then they're like, oh, and it reinforces it. It can be that simple. Remember, the client has no idea whether going down 1 or to 0, going down 1 from 6 to 5 or from 6 to 0. They don't know,
No,
either
and
one is okay.
it's whatever it is for them. Sometimes, do you know what? Even just one notch down is great because it's less than it was before.
And they
People
noticed it.
think they have to get to a 0. I mean, because I do this, obviously the work that we do, so it's easier for me to drop down into a 0, probably because I've done it multiple times. And I also know how to fully immerse myself, even though I'm not actually, when I close my eyes, I am not a visual person. I do when I dream, but I am in hypnosis. I'm not what aphantasia or something. What is the
Colors?
Yeah,
Colors?
I can see colors. That's all I get is orbs and faces. But I cannot. If somebody said to me, "Close your eyes and go to a beach," I'm not there. Can I? But like you just said, fully immerse myself in a memory of an experience. I can. And I can feel that very kinesthetically.
Yes, right. So you feel,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But I cannot just suddenly conjure up something. I would have to more feel a tree, the knots and the things. So
The warm sun on your skin or the water, right? And but you're a great hypnotic subject, even though you're not very visual, right? So like that says a lot because you are a somnambule and you go into hypnosis, very boom.
Yeah.
So that's
and that is because, and so that's why we go back to being client centered, because it's whatever it is for the client. So I mean, when I get my clients who go, oh, I was this or this and I saw that, I think, oh, I've got hypnosis envy now because I don't get that, but I do get the feeling of it. So, and that's the beauty of it. When we say to client, you cannot do hypnosis right and you cannot do it wrong. It's whatever it is for you. And hey, we all know that we all go into hypnosis pretty, several times a day anyway. Kind of zone out, daydreaming. You just kind of zone out. I do a lot.
or get super focused, right? Either one is going to take your
Yeah, because when you're playing sport, you have to be hyper focused on the ball. You're not suddenly going, "Oh, hey, mum!" That's the moment you get hit on the head with the ball, isn't it? So you have to be in the zone. That's a form of an altered state. That is hypnosis. So it's just different feelings around it, different words for it. So yeah, altered state, focused attention. Who knows how to actually properly describe what hypnosis is? It's just that wonderful thing.
Yeah, we could talk about that for the next hour,
That's
right?
another whole discussion. and it's not, and it's either right or it's wrong or whatever it is for you. It
I
doesn't
don't even like using those words, right or wrong. Like I help my clients think, because that means, I have heard that one of the number one fears is the fear of being wrong. So anytime we trigger someone, if we say something and they are like, now feel like they did something wrong or they are wrong, and then their ego gets triggered and they're not hearing what you have to say, and it's a whole, you can watch that dynamic all the time if
wow. Yeah, and then we have to get curious about what.
Yes.
Where did that come from? And that's what we do. We get curious, don't we? Of certain things. Well, how do you do anxiety then? Because I know how I do. How do you do happy? How do you do sad? Well, because everybody does it differently,
Claudia, what I've noticed though is so many of the hypnotists and everybody, they love going to trainings, right? We all love learning because there's so much cool things like the bunny talk, and there's just countless such cool techniques and strategies, not quite as quick as the palm press, but like timeline therapy is a little bit more in depth if you're not familiar with NLP, but it does have a learning curve. I also think it is so important for us to work on ourselves, right? To heal our own history and to hire hypnotists to help not only you, but then go out, be more intuitive for your clients and be more present with your clients so you're not getting triggered, and you also get to make the money that you deserve. And I love being the hypnotist's healer, right? The hypnotist, right? Because everybody so needs that. Like, I love doing the training. What I love about the trainings also is that you do get a lot of personal hypnosis when it's a small group training. And you and I were talking about that before, that you and I like to offer a small group training because people heal and they learn these powerful techniques that they can use with their clients.
You're right, Randy. People get their own transformation as they're doing a timeline or the bunny talk process. And
when they're learning it, they get their own transformations.
You're feeling it. You have to, in order for you to give it to your clients, offer it, you would then actually have to feel it yourself. You have to know it works. You have to, it's like you have to experience it. And then you go, wow, now I want to share that with everybody else because I know it worked on me. And actually, that's why every so often on a Sunday, I do the hour of free group bunny talk healing, because it's, who do I get mostly on there? Hypnotists.
Good.
So I know, because actually they need it. And yes, their suds, as we say, that scale, it comes down from wherever it was, say 8 out of 10, or it comes down to very low 1 or 1, 2, 0.
And not just emotions, chronic pain, right? Pain can dissolve I work so much when I take people through the Essential Four for emotional clearing and confidence building, and their pains go away, fibromyalgia goes into remission, rheumatoid arthritis goes into remission, headaches go away, pains reduce greatly. It's like, and it's all clearing the emotions.
Because the emotion can be trapped in that area. And you're right. So I had an emotion trapped, and I know this, I know it works. Had it trapped in my sacroiliac, and it was from a car crash, and the pain was trapped in there, but it was an emotion as well that was trapped in there. You get rid of that emotion and the pain decreases anyway. And then I do the rest of anything with my control room, and just, I don't take any drugs for my chronic pain from my fractured pelvis. I just do it all with my, say with my knee, I ran my poor little knee into a grinding whatever, so I can't run anymore. But I don't take any drugs for it. I can still ride my bike, walk a lot. It's like, all with my mind. I know, you've got to love it. We are in control, and we have all the answers inside of us, and that's what we do. We help people get to those answers. And I love it. I love what we do, what we get to do. It's so exciting. Randy, I'll be seeing you next at Hypnothoughts.
Yes.
Hypnothoughts Live, the hypnosis conference in the world.
Yeah, that's going to be really fun. I'm teaching a pre-conference on timeline, heal your history of timeline therapy. It's a 2-day, so you get to heal your history, right? You get to truly go through all these different experiences to help you to love yourself and to help you to shift out of that old pattern of not believing in yourself and move forward. And then we're going to use timeline, that powerful technique, as well as learn a few other techniques. So I'm going to take everyone through an actual workshop that I utilize for timeline therapy, where I take groups through it. And so you'll also have a workshop, heal your history, and learn one of the most powerful techniques that you can use today. But I also, that you can use out there to help all your clients let go of limiting beliefs or anything. And actually, what's also interesting, it can be used for this life and other lives, because timelines can go all the way back to other lives. And that is also, I'm doing past life regression for groups and individuals as a class at Hypnothoughts. So that's one of them. And so that will teach people similar things. But I'm also training I have the illumination series in August. Like and you can do it online or in person, but you can come to the beautiful Northwest Indiana near Chicago. I'm in the Indiana Dunes, and it's back-to-back series of learning past life regression and how to get really good at it and use it in groups to bring more clients into your life and make more money. And then it's also intuitive activation and spiritual hypnotherapy, because we know that when we're intuitive and we trust the downloads, no matter what our clients are going through, whether it's regression or anything, we are getting the information that we can help them when we're present and we know how to get into that zone.
I agree.
Right? So that's August, 15th and 16th. It's the Illumination series, and people can go to my website if they're interested in it. And I'm offering a sweet deal, a super sweet deal for you, Claudia, for everybody it's like $1,000 for 3 trainings, and it's usually almost 6,000. So it's a really great opportunity. And of course, same with, I'm teaching the Essential 4, like you can learn this whole system in September. So anyway.
Okay. So we'll get your links in the comments. And so people can still sign up for the one at Hypnothoughts if they're going to that. So yes, that's great. And then you're teaching a class anyway. So because we're both presenting, and
2 classes. Yeah. What do you?
I'm doing an interactive first session. That's my 2-hour one. That's on Sunday, and then on Saturday I'm doing We Are Not Our Behaviors, We Are Our Good Intention. So it's again, it's a lot of my version of emotional intelligence in there. I expect I'll do a demo in the 2-hour one, and a lot of metaphors, it'll be very interactive. So that'll be pretty cool. And then in August you've got this other thing where you are. So that'll be a nice little retreat, won't it? If anybody fancies up there. So that'll be cool.
Small groups.
And that's a great offer. So all of those 3 for
past life regression, intuitive activation, and spiritual hypnotherapy, and then advanced hypnosis and NLP techniques is online.
Wow.
So it's 4 days, and then the online like twice a week. I mean, twice a month.
Twice a month. So people can learn more about that on your website. Okay, so we'll get all of that in. So it sounds like a really good offer. So,
but if people want to learn timeline therapy and heal, you can still sign up, but it's Tuesday and Wednesday before our hypnosis conference. So it'll be
in fact, I've got some night classes going on. I've got the Bunny Talk process that I'm doing for Australia this Saturday and Sunday. It's their Saturday and Sunday. It's Americans Friday and Saturday night. So it's like night class for us. So I can put that in the comments as well. So Randi, always lovely to have you on here, and I will see you soon. All right, take care.
Thank you so much, Claudia. Take care, everyone.
Thanks for watching, everybody, and it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from Randi Light.